Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga-Texas construction update video.
Hey everybody, this is Joe back out at Giga-Texas today. My last video I tried out a little bit of talk and fly and a different approach to the video, and I seem to get some pretty good comments from the viewers, so I'm going to do that again and see if I can incorporate this in future videos. Believe it or not, it actually saves me a lot of time in producing the video as well. But today it's very busy. What we're going to see is more car carriers picking up Model Ys on the south end. We also look at the directional drilling and some pipe delivery on the south end of the river. This is HDPE, or high density polyethylene pipe, that they're using to put through the bore under the river to connect to the treated water plant. We also see work on the solar panels now, extending the racks and the solar panels to fill in the rest of the roof, not just the letters. On the west side of General Assembly, we see quite a bit of pavement removal and reconfiguration of roads, and also the apron area with more concrete, and it extends most of the length of the building. We also go to the battery cathode plant, where we see some tremendous amount of steel assembly going on. It's now about 40 to 45% complete with the steel skeleton, which is really amazing. We also go to the north electrical substation area, where they're doing a lot of grading work, and I'll show you how that is progressing as well today, plus a bunch of other sites around Giga-Texas that I think you'll find interesting. So again, I hope that you like this new approach to the video and the talk and fly, and we'll see how it goes.
My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga-Texas. Well, good morning everybody from Giga-Texas. It's a beautiful morning on the 6th of July, 2022. There's a lot to see, so I'll be talking as the video plays, and I hope that you enjoy the discussion and what we're going to be talking about. As I mentioned, this is a new approach, then hopefully this will be something that you like. So starting off in the northwest corner, there's a lot of activity that you can see. There's some on the roadway and the apron area, and we'll come back a little bit later and talk about that and fly along the side of the building. But right now I'm going to talk a little bit about these HVAC ducting that's on top of the battery cell roof in that northwest corner. A lot of the crews are working on putting the ducting enclosures on the left-hand side together. There's about 4 more that needs to be done, and then there's these other 6 ducts as well. And as we move towards the T of Tesla, what I want to show you is the crews are working now putting in more of the unirack mounts on the rest of the roof, and you can see the solar panels off to the left and some of the bricks that are used to hold down the unirack system. And it appears that they are now starting to fill in the rest of the roof and not just the letters. So this may be a great sign, and we'll continue to monitor that. Here's some more crews and bringing some parts and supplies to install more of the solar panels. Here we're just moving up to the north end of the building again, over the top of the T. All the blue wrapped materials that you see, those are the unirack mounts that the solar panels are put on, and then you can see some more solar panels in those kind of a grayish tan boxes and crates next to it. Now that we're at the northwest corner again, you can see the crane is in operation. These 2 platforms have been very busy putting a lot of material up into the 4th and 3rd floor of the battery cell structure. And then here is a close-up look of many of the asphalt areas have been removed, and as you can see, they're putting in rebar and re-pouring or adding concrete to this entire area. And I'm not sure exactly why this has changed. The original plan was 3 lanes, northbound and southbound, right in this area, and there was a cyber wall on the area where the sidewalk is, but that all has changed. Now there's 4 lanes, 2 north, 2 southbound. But as you can see, all the area with the pavement, the asphalt pavement, has been removed, and they're adding in all the concrete. Now I think that there's 3 main reasons for this. The first was they wanted to get the asphalt down to mitigate a lot of the mud that we saw with all the rain. The second is it's always been part of the plan to expand this area for more loading bays. I know a lot of people have been asking about that. There are some blank panels that are already in place, but there are other panels that will be added onto the walls. And the third reason really was to prepare for Cyber Rodeo and to have this area and a lot of the area around the building ready for all the people. What we just flew over on the berm on the right hand side of the screen, just kind of a little bit out of view, but you can see those pipes that run along that grassy area. I talked to the head groundskeeper, if you will, the one responsible for doing a lot of the watering. And initially Tesla was going to put in sprinkler systems. They did not. Now they are going to do that at some point, so we'll see more trenching and sprinkler systems. But in the meantime, they're using these pipes. Also over here on this side near the main entrance area, you can see another large area where they're removing the asphalt just to the north of the entranceway, and that'll continue the rest of this way. I tried to look inside the main entrance area here. It's a little bit difficult, but if you remember in Cyber Rodeo, that whole area was opened up. Now there's actually a dividing wall just inside, and that's where I believe that they're going to be installing General Assembly 2 and 3 lines, and we talked about that with the permit a little bit later. I think a lot of this work on the apron area here and next to that steel ramp is to allow for more of the loading bays into the wall sections here at some point. But all of this is new concrete, and it looks like they've lined it for parking lots, at least temporarily, as they continue to build out inside of this building. And you can see the terminating wall here, kind of triangular shaped. It is now, for the most part, complete, and they're doing some more underground piping and access points. So now as we fly around to the south, around the southwest corner of the building, we can reveal the parking and loading area for the Model Ys. You can actually see a Model Y just coming out of the building right now, possibly a new construction Model Y. In the foreground here you can see the Cyber Rodeo cars, 2 of them with wraps, the blue and the white one has the signatures from, and also I think the red and the blue one here have signatures from the people that were attending the Cyber Rodeo. And of course the tinted superchargers help with just the heat of the day for the workers as they're charging up the cars. The platform here is now very active, and they're putting up the dumpster to clean out some material. So the sun is at a little bit difficult angle right now, so I'm going to fly up and over the building, look at the east side, and then work our way back to put the sun to the back so that the video is as clear as I possibly can make it. That's one of the challenges of flying early in the morning. But as we wrap around to the east side of the stamping structure and then move towards the body in white structure, that temporary platform is still being quite active. You can see that they use a opening in the window line, and a little bit later we'll see on the south end they're building another platform, steel platform. It may replace this temporary one with a permanent one, but I'm not sure about that, so we'll have to continue to monitor it. But here's another area where they're preparing a concrete apron area. You can see a similar wall that we saw on the west side, and I believe that they're going to be putting in cargo loading bays into the wall here as well. And this is similar to other areas along the east side, a little bit north of where we're flying the drone right now. You can also see these temporary cooling devices here with all the fans on the top, with the water on the ground shows that they are active, and it may be temporary cooling while they're getting the HVAC for the rest of the building installed. So here I'm flying down close to this apron area where they're preparing for the concrete. You can see some more plumbing as well. And here's a good close-up view of that temporary platform. Again, it's very active. You can see the crane is actually moving right now, and they're always moving parts, materials, and equipment into this area. And just to the right, as we're just flying over the sort of the corner of the roof, you can see the access point where people will walk up there. Here's some more solar panels on the top of the roof in this corner. On the left-hand side, you can see this clearing area again. I'm continuing to monitor it to figure out what exactly they're doing. I do not know. And again, as we proceed a little bit back to the south again, you can see many more Model Ys have been produced. Here they have some on the east side, just near the solar panels and the racking systems. But here's a good close view. Right now there's 2 of these transports. A third one arrives just a little bit later, and then later on, while I was filming in other locations, I saw at least 3 more of these arriving. So we're seeing 10 or more of these trailers picking up vehicles every day now, and the production rate is more than keeping up with that. So we'll have to continue to monitor to see what the production ramp will be like, but it's definite increasing from what we saw even a few weeks ago. But it also looks like they've got the transport timing so that as the vehicles are arriving out of the factory, they're almost immediately picked up now. Here's that south material and steel fabrication area. As I mentioned, here's a platform just we're approaching now that's being constructed. I don't know where this is going to go, but it might be a replacement for that temporary platform. We'll have to see. Many people have asked, where does all of this steel go? And actually quite a bit of this steel, besides the platforms that we've seen on the north and south side, most of this steel is actually going inside the stamping extension area, which is sort of just to the east of that south platform that we saw just a little bit earlier. They're doing excavation and more construction inside that stamping extension area. That's pretty much the last area of the building inside that is undergoing construction. And you can kind of see one of the doors here on the right hand side of the picture next to the platform. But I thought I would pull back a little bit from here. You can see how the solar panels kind of look. You can see how that loading and parking apron area appears right now as well, and the reflection pond, and another view here of that material and steel storage and fabrication area on the south end. So as I came across here a little bit earlier when I was taking some photos and checking out the route, I noticed that there's some deliveries of the underground piping for the treated water. These are HDPE or high density polyethylene pipes that are being prepared to pull underneath the river through the bore of the directional drilling. So I thought I would come back over here near the power plant and show you the arrival via truck, more of these very large pipes. The black ones are about 30 inches in diameter, and the purple painted one is 36 inches in diameter. And again, what I've been told is that both the purple painted pipe and the black pipes will be pulled under the river to connect the treatment plant to the south of where we're at right now in Giga-Texas. And that work appears to be ongoing, and they take the segments of the HDPE pipe and they use a fusion machine that basically butt welds them, if you will, together, and it makes a very strong long pipe. But flying along the route that the pipe will be pulled underneath the river, and we're approaching the north bank area where the directional drilling originates, and you can see the directional drill right there, the yellow and the black next to the excavator, and you can see 2 of the pilot holes. I believe those are where those pipes will be pulled through. There is additional activity here today. It looks like again more preparations for eventually that pipe pull. And about a month ago I talked to the crews and they said it was going to be about 3 or 4 months until that was completed, so we still have a few months to go. And as we pull away, you can see that excavation area again to the southeast corner of the stamping. And we're going to just pull back, go over where this pond remains. Is one of the original ponds that has not been changed much. You can see the area where they have all the piping that will probably be used a little bit later. And then this clearing area has more dirt. They continue to raise the elevation, and in the bottom of the picture you can see more of this like concrete debris that's being put over here. And I don't know if it's for a fill or some other purpose, but we shall see. So I'm going to continue to fly over the eastern trailer material handling storage and where all these trailers are, the yard. I've mentioned before that the number of these trailers is important to watch as it's a direct indication for production. Giga-Texas and Tesla in general uses these trucks as not only delivery of components for production, but also as sort of mobile storage areas for materials. So the more of those trailers, the more activity there is in production. So now we've reached the battery cathode plant, and as you can see, the steel assembly is just continuing at an extreme rate. It's about 40 to 45% completed with the steel structure or the skeleton. And again, they're tracking to try to get that done by the end of July to keep on track for getting the facility completed in time for the lithium hydroxide, actually the spodumene concentrate 6 arrival late this year. But we'll fly around this structure with a 360. You can see the people walking gives you a good idea of the size and scale of this building. Despite the small size compared to Giga-Texas, this is actually quite a large building. It's about 80 feet or so, maybe 25 meters tall. It's going to be about 800 feet long, and it's got at least 3 different floors. And if you look at this particular area here, you can see 3 of the floors on the middle section appear to be heavily reinforced. That may be for some significantly heavy equipment or some other needs for having a reinforced section of the building right there. You can see a lot of the workers, they just had the 8 o'clock morning briefing and getting ready to go to work to start doing what they need to for today. You can see some more materials here in the white packaging have been delivered. I think that may actually be roofing material, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see as time progresses. But something else I want to point out here as I try to maneuver based on the sun is there's an open area in this section of the building, and this may very well be where they'll put in rails for a bridge crane. And it also looks like this is a particularly large area, maybe for some heavy machinery. Could also be the machine necessary to heat up and prepare the spodumene concentrate 6 to make lithium hydroxide, but we'll have to continue to monitor that as well. So I'm going to fly a little bit farther north, watching the footings and the construction that's going on here. Again, all the steel has been laid out and is necessary to continue with the rapid steel assembly, and most of the footings are completed. They're working on these central ones. These are a little bit different than the rest, and I'm not sure if this is because it's a particularly heavy load that's going to be on these particular areas, or if maybe the soil conditions weren't as strong as they needed them, so they're making it a little bit more reinforced. But as you can see, they are slightly different shape. They're more diamond shape, at least the orientation, compared to the rest of the footings. I'm going to go ahead and pull back here so you can get the view of the entire building structure again, and as you can see, they're somewhere about maybe 40-ish% complete with the steel structure at the rate that they're going. Another couple weeks, they'll be near the north end. So I'm going to go ahead and fly fairly quickly across the Martin Marietta plant here, and we're going to head over to the electrical substation and megapack construction area, where we'll see some interesting new developments, particularly with the widening and preparing of the grade of this area. Again, only the tip of what used to be the temporary pond is recognizable now. Pretty much everything else has been erased and transformed to make this a much more, not quite rectangular, but a more rectangular kind of construction area. You can see these trucks that are moving with dirt back and forth. What we'll see is the dirt is being excavated on the side of the screen coming up here on the left, and then it's being transported over to the clearing area across the power lines as they continue to work on the grade there. In this area, you can see they're continuing to widen where the old plant was, with the excavator moving dirt onto the truck, and then where it appeared that there was a road, it now looks like they've got a pretty deep road, if you will, and they're going to be excavating the rest of the dirt down to that particular level. This also suggests that this entire level, the area will be level with this main rectangular area where the water truck is now. So continue to monitor that, and as we move over towards the power lines, I'll get about as close to them as I can so you can see that work that's going on over in this sort of triangular area. But what I think is that eventually this entire area, including where the grass is and underneath the power lines, will be part of the construction. But here we're going to go ahead and fly over near the temporary electrical substation. As I mentioned in the last video, there was always a plan for a temporary station and then a permanent one. The biggest difference is that the location of the temporary plant is now up here, where it used to be on the east side of where the parking lot is. This area here with the Cisco food tent on the left and the rest of the electronic components, that's all for that substation construction, which is ongoing right now. So I wanted to fly over here real quick again, just to get a little bit different view of the trailers and also this mini excavation area you can see just coming on the bottom of the screen right now. They continue to work on this area. Eventually they'll be replacing removing all of that dirt and replacing that housing with construction. But here again is a closer view of all of these containers and trailers in the yard area, and this is an indication of the production rate. We also see here some interesting deliveries coming up to the factory today, some red painted components and some others with black cladding on it to kind of hide it. We can see it's a square shape, but I'm not sure exactly what that is. Moving over to this part of the parking lot, we can see that trenching is underway to install underground electrical conduit and to have the bases for the light poles. And this continues the trend that they've been doing on this entire parking lot, where they'll pave it over and use it for a while, and then they'll come in and do the trenching later on and install the light poles. And I don't know if it's because the plan wasn't completed, if there was some changes or what, but why they keep doing it that way, I do not know. I know a lot of viewers ask. All of these school buses are actually on-site shuttles, and it moves the contractors when they arrive and go through the main entrance to their locations for work. And here there's a bunch of Tesla employees checking out the charging station area, or maybe they just arrived for work. And we can also see where they're continuing to repair the shoulder of that road that washed out with some of the rain. And moving over to the east secondary entrance area, this continues to be moving at a pretty slow pace. I'm not exactly sure why. Many of the windows are on the west side of the highway in the storage area, so they are here, but they're obviously waiting for something else. And in this charging area will eventually be another parking lot. We can see more trenching. They're putting in more electrical conduit, just preparing this area. And it's a little bit different that they're preparing this before they put the asphalt in, unlike the large parking lot. So that's kind of an interesting change. Now I'm just going to fly along the casting machine structure. You can actually see a truck picking up test castings. I think that's for Gigapress number 3. Hopefully we'll start seeing the Cybertruck Gigapress arriving sometime in August is what I'm told, and that's consistent with Idra's open house and the demonstration of that 9,000 ton Gigapress. So we're looking for August for that to start arriving. I'm just ending up here at the paint shop. These two platforms have been used quite a bit as well. A lot of materials continue to be delivered and moved inside the paint shop, so it seems like they're continuing to expand and just finish out a lot of the production processes for the paint shop area. And again, we're back at the battery cell structure with the two platforms. Is where we began a little bit earlier at the beginning of the video, and just overall the look of the work going on with the apron area. So again, this is a talk and fly, a little bit different approach than what I've used in the past. I hope that you enjoyed this tour, and learned a few things, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thank you.